Guys of a Certain Age is brought to you by no one. Absolutely no one. Except these dudes walking down memory lane. Now let's head to the studio to see what they misremember next.
It's that time again. It's Guys of a Certain Age. Robbie Copeland's in studio with
Jay Reed.
And Art is on assignment somewhere. Jay, how are you doing this morning?
Not too bad, but I think the pollen is finally settling in.
Is that what it is? What about the cicadas?
Does my voice seem deeper?
No, it doesn't.
Cicadas, I think, are fascinating. They're not really bothering me, but I don't know that I've heard them quite as loudly ever as I've heard this year. I don't remember it anyway.
Yeah, I don't either. But it's funny. We went out to the cabin last weekend out in Mathiston. Hardly any cicadas.
Well, that's funny because I work, just a little bit away from there, and they're really loud at the pharmacy.
Yeah. Because,
there's woods kind of around there.
Yeah. Maybe I wasn't listening to the right trees. Maybe that's what it was. So,
it's my mom walked into Mrs. Reed, told me the other day that she walked into Walmart and the sort of greeter guy looked at her and smiled and then kind of points at his shirt. And she's like, am I supposed to be reading what is on his shirt or whatever? He was like, no, look on your shirt. And she was carrying a cicada on her shirt. And she's like, oh, okay. So she just grabbed it and took it outside and released it back into nature.
Wow. There you go.
So she's like the turtle saver.
Yeah, there you go. The cicada saver.
Right.
So, all right, let's jump into some Geeks of the Week. What have you got?
Well, I'm kind of jumping back into, do you remember when we talked about the jet packs, that I had found that were actually sort of in existence but not quite ready for public consumption?
Did you find one?
No, but this is, I think, even better.
Oh, no.
I came across this, and I've learned a new term. Are you familiar with the term EVTOL or EVTOL?
No, why don't you educate me?
I'm going to educate all of us. EVTOL stands for Electric Vertical Takeoff and Landing Aircraft.
Okay.
And so you've probably seen some examples of this. It's essentially a big drone.
Yeah.
So what Google and Amazon would use to deliver a package, or you're using some for air taxis or plan to. But this particular one that I ran into, there's a bunch of different companies that are doing this. There's one called Airspeeder, and they're remotely controlled with the hope of piloting later, but they actually race remotely. So kind of Star Wars-esque, sort of young Anakin kind of vibes. And but the one that I ran across was called, which I love, Jetson. So it kind of takes you back to, I don't know if it's related to the Jetsons, but sort of still space age kind of a look. But anyway, it's a one-man piloted. Essentially, it's a drone, but it's a little aircraft, and you can buy one.
Yeah.
If you look kind of through the news reports about it.
Yeah, I've seen these. Yeah.
Italy has allowed some, permits, and they're saying that it won't need a FAA permit and all, as long as you stay away from airports and stuff like that. But the visuals of this thing are amazing. It does kind of bring out the vibe of land speeder races in Star Wars. So I think it definitely appealed to the geek in me. And you can go on the Jetson.com website, and there's a button to buy one now.
How much?
What would you guess? I know you're looking at your computer, so
$120,000.
Did you look?
No, I did not.
Okay, so because it's $128,000.
Oh wow, no, I just guessed.
$128,000 plus taxes and fees, and if you click on the buy now, you can get one in 2026. They're all sold for this year and next year. You can get one in 2026. $8,000 down, and then $120,000 plus taxes and fees. At time of delivery.
Did you see what the all-up weight is? The capacity?
I do not qualify.
Yeah, 86 kilos all up, and I don't know what the bird weighs, but 86 kilos.
Yeah, I saw some on
is
another,
189 pounds.
Yeah, on another page I saw 210, and so either way, right at this moment as we record, I'm not a candidate. But if I had that if someone gifted one of those to me, so Christmas is coming, 2026, guys.
Yeah.
I could definitely be motivated to get down to 188 for that.
Yeah.
I could just see myself, zipping around the neighborhood, zipping around campus. I just think it would be so fun. It seems a little safer to me than the jetpack. I think I can control it a little bit better because it looks like you're just driving.
Yeah.
The videos are cool. And they piloted it. The first U.S. flight was last October at the Perot Ranch at I think the UP Summit or something in Texas. It was about transportation.
Yeah.
But the governor was there. I know that Ross Perot Jr. is at his farm or ranch or whatever.
Ross Perot. I hadn't heard that name in a long time.
Yeah. So anyway, I just thought that was really cool. I would love to have the opportunity to fly one. I probably will not have the opportunity to own one.
I tell you, this is kind of like the next maybe big thing,
It could be.
Super drones that you can jump over traffic with. Can you imagine? You could get, so what's the...
See, I couldn't get to work. Right now it's like a 20-mile...
20-minute flight time.
Yeah, so it takes me 30 minutes to get to work. So I guess as the crow flies, I might get close.
102 kilometers per hour. So that's going to be
63 miles an hour.
63 miles an hour. So you could get 20. Yeah, you could walk the rest of the way.
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah. So,
but would I be able to recharge it in the field, in the sod field that I landed in?
Boy, I wonder how long it would take to recharge that thing. So
yeah, that part I didn't get that deep in the weeds. I don't know if they provide that info.
Yeah.
I was curious about the same thing.
And how much of a charger are you going to have? So I don't know.
I wouldn't think it'd be more than a car charger, would it?
I don't know. Let me look and see.
Cars go farther than that, longer, and
it's
it'll hold my weight.
88 kilowatts. I don't know.
That's beyond the scope of my knowledge. But hey, there's no way I could get one before 2026, so I'm just going to hold out.
I don't know that anybody are they shipping yet?
Apparently, they're shipping for this year and next year because you're basically in line for 2026 if you buy now.
Just because you're in line doesn't mean the product is shipping.
Well, that's true. But if you look on, and this may be a marketing gimmick, but if you click on there, it lists like 422 chassis, I think, and it looks like there's only 3 or 4 left. The other ones have people's names on them or someone in such and such a place. So there may just be a handful left. I'm sure by the time this airs or after it airs, our readers and listeners will
all 3 of them
snatch them up.
Wow. Okay. That's pretty impressive.
It's fun.
I don't know if fun would be the word.
It would be fun if it were not.
Can you imagine
$28,000?
Can you imagine a crash in this thing?
Well, I see 63 miles an hour. Depends on how high you got.
That's right. So what's the altitude? Landed. Did they give you an altitude?
Let me see. I don't think so.
I'm not seeing it on Jetson.com.
Yeah, if it's not on there, I'm not sure.
But that doesn't mean
flight time all up. Wait, yeah, it didn't say.
No.
But if you watch the U.S. flight video, I mean, he got a pretty high. I mean, relatively speaking.
Meet Jay Jetson. Yeah, that would be kind of fun. That would be.
Well, sure. There's some danger involved, and really think about it. $128,000. I mean, you spend more than that on an RV. Some people spend that on a car, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not unreasonable for some.
Yeah.
It would be for me.
Yeah. And I think for Art and myself and anybody else
listening. We chipped in $42,500 a piece. That's still a lot.
It is. But that's cool. That's cool. I cannot. So it's got a ballistic parachute with rapid deployment time. Did you see that?
I didn't see that.
So it's a race car inspired space frame safety cell design. Can fly safely with the loss of one motor. Hands-free hover and emergency functions, redundant battery propulsion system, easy for me to say, ballistic parachute with rapid deployment time, and LiDAR sensor-driven auto landing system. So,
would you be high enough for a parachute to actually deploy?
That's what I'm saying. So, maximum pilot weight is 210 pounds. Service ceiling above 1,500 feet. So you could go to 1,500 feet. So I guess you could deploy.
Okay.
So, gotcha. The Jetson weight itself is
that what's the 86
190 pounds.
Okay. All right.
So
that's up weight.
Yeah, and that's without the batteries. The batteries are 88 pounds. Batteries are probably 100 pounds.
and then another 210 allowable for the pilot.
Yeah, 210 for the pilot weight. Service ceiling 1,500 feet above ground level.
So you could watch the first quarter of a football game just by floating up.
Yeah, that's not going to happen because that's not going to happen.
What if you did a flyover, like the Jetson flyover at the college football game?
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen either.
I could get from my house there in 20 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to allow you to fly in that airspace. So, at all. Wow, okay. All right, that's pretty impressive. I have to say that's pretty impressive. So, mine is not nearly as fun. And this dropped a couple of weeks ago. I just saw it. I'm a big fan of the Michael Keaton Batman, or as it's now called, the Batman 1989 movie, along the lines of X-Men 97. Have you been watching X-Men 97 on Disney? I need to jump into that. Apparently it's just amazing. Arthur John Jackson Miller, who just wrote the Living Force book for the Star Wars universe, is going to be revisiting the Batman movie. I think it's going to take place after Batman Returns, with a book called Batman Resurrection. It's coming from Random House. It's going to pick up where Batman Returns left off. But
a book.
It's going to be a book.
Not a graphic novel.
No, a book.
Okay.
Something that you have to read, turn pages, or Kindle pages.
That.
So, anyway, it should be. I might be interested in that.
So it's being written.
It's being written.
It's not. It's not available.
It's not available yet. Let's see when. You can pre-order it now. It's supposed to hit the shelves October 15th, so it could be a nice Christmas present. Yeah. Okay. So, but how cool is that to go back to the Batman 89 and kind of pick up where it left off?
Oh, yeah.
I
like that idea.
When's the last time you watched the Tim Burton Batman?
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
I think I own it, but I don't go back and watch as much because there's just so much. I've said this before. There's so much new to watch. I don't often go back and watch other things, even though I have a extensive collection of DVDs.
See, I don't load up a DVD or Blu-ray at all. I'll rip it and watch it on my Plex system. But I've got like some new Doctor Who Blu-rays I haven't even popped open. So one other little thing is the Lord of the Rings of Power is going to drop season 2 fairly soon. I just had that date and I just missed that date. August 29th. And did you watch Rings of Power season 1?
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Apparently the folks are making cast members are making a point to say, hey, things are going to actually happen this season. You will actually see Rings of Power. It's not a big setup. So 8 episodes that will drop on Prime Video. I'm looking forward to see what they do with it.
Yeah. But I do see what they're saying. It was quite a bit of sort of origin story.
It was all an origin story.
Which was interesting.
Yeah.
Now, what about House of the Dragon? When does that drop? I keep seeing teasers, but I haven't seen a date.
House of Dragon, season 2 release date, June 16th. I was going to say June 15th.
That's coming soon. Then.
So it's going to be Sunday. On HBO and HBO Max. Okay. And this last Friday, a week ago as we record this, Doctor Who premiered. And so that would have been May 10th. So whatever season this is, episode 4 for the new season is dropping today. They dropped 2 episodes last week. So,
and then Dune is going to be on Max within the next week or 2.
So Dune Part 2 will be on Max. By the time you hear this, it should be streaming, and I would highly recommend that.
Yeah, I'll definitely be putting that on my agenda.
And then, did you see the Dune Legacy trailer?
Yeah, I mean, I saw most of the trailer. It kept popping up every time I was researching this episode.
That looks pretty fascinating. Going back to the beginning of the Bene Gesserit, and so.
And that's this fall coming. Or I saw a date, but I didn't really pay attention to it. I'll see how Dune Part 2 goes first.
Did you not? Yeah, Dune Prophecy, not Dune Legacy. Dune Prophecy. Sorry, if I could get all my C's put together, and I think that is October. I'm gonna look for
October
release.
Sounds familiar.
Fall of 2024. So we don't know anything beyond that, but that looks really fascinating as well. So you got back origin stories for Dune, for Lord of the Rings, and there was an announced that the new Star Wars movie in development is going to be called Jedi Prime. So that will be the origin of the Jedi thousands of years before A New Hope.
Okay.
So see if I can find that. Star Wars Jedi Prime, I believe, is what we're calling it now.
But that'll probably be years before we see that.
Prime Jedi. Prime Jedi is what it is. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, we'll see what happens there. So I think the Star Wars movie with Rey is I think they're filming at this point.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, yada 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 yada. Star Wars. So I just want to
stuff coming in the summer.
I want to see Andor season 2. That's what I'm looking for. So anyway, all right, it's time for Jay's Regrettable Heroes, brought to you by no one, absolutely no one. So what you got this week?
Okay, I didn't want to jump in too quick because Art usually pauses and then has the advertisement. I didn't want to get ahead of myself. So this one I really like. You may this is still in the 40s, so still around World War II, and this one actually seemed to come into its own or was developed because of the war, because of shipping issues, embargoes, things like that. Comics were not being shipped as they were previously from U.S. to Canada. So Canada had to come up with their own set of superhero comic book characters. So one of the ones that they came up with was Nelvana of the Northern Lights, which I think is kind of ironic that we just saw.
We didn't even talk about the Northern Lights.
We didn't. Yeah, we actually in Mississippi, you saw them better than I did, but lots of people in Mississippi saw the Northern Lights.
Where were you?
I was here. I just didn't get as great a picture as you did. I just saw a pink glow, and other people saw actual stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was still very cool to know that it could be seen and that so many people did see it. And, of course, it was all over social media, so I got to see other people's pictures. But Nelvana is a daughter of Koliak. And Koliak was a god, and he made friends with a mortal woman and had some kids, and the other god said, no. Kind of reminiscent of Percy Jackson in a way. So he was punished, and he basically took the form of the Northern Lights. And so Koliak is the Northern Lights. And Nelvana is his daughter. He had a son named Tenero, I believe. Tenero. So Nelvana basically is a demigoddess, again, like Percy Jackson in a way. And Tenero also as well. The difference between the two of them is she could be seen pretty much by everybody. She had power. She had telepathy, flight. She could fly at the speed of light along the rays of the Northern Lights, so connected to her dad that way. Tenero, and this is kind of reminiscent of, or that's not the right word, but it shows the time that it was written in, that he could be seen, he could not be seen by white men in his original form. So whenever there were white men around, he had to be in another form. So basically took the form of a dog. So and I think part of it, because they're in Canada, and one of their tasks was to protect the Eskimos. So I believe that they were Eskimos. Some of the drawings don't show it, and some do when you look back at the images of the comics. But I think she was an Eskimo. So that kind of makes a little more sense of why, a white man would be an outsider in this kind of sense. So anyway, they had powers. They did fight some Nazis from time to time, but basically Eskimo protection. There was a society, a lost civilization under the North Pole ice that they had to go and protect. So a lot of different interesting things. This one is unique from some of the ones we've talked about lately because it lasted about 6 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, from 1941, Adrian Dingle was the creator. And then it moved to, I think, Bell Comics and maybe another place or two. But even though it did evolve, she was around for 6 or 7 years. And then I think in 2015, maybe 2013, there was a Kickstarter campaign up there to get it, to kind of reprint it. And what I read said, in the Great Wikipedia, said that it was fully funded within like 5 days.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know what came of that, but definitely some interest in re-upping her character. So anyway, I like this one. I think this would be fun to watch.
So this is not regrettable.
Not regrettable.
This is preferable? No, not preferable. Allowable or regrettable?
Non-regrettable.
Non-regrettable. We'll say non-regrettable.
We'll stay with non-regrettable.
Non-regrettable.
For the time being, until we come up with such terms that are better.
That would be a fun one. That would be a fun one too.
I think it's got a cool history too. I mean, the fact that they couldn't, comic books couldn't make it across the border for whatever reason, so they came up with their own, and they came up with a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Yep. So a lot of they listed some other Canadian things that I never heard of. Of course, I never heard of this one, but I think this is a definite something that could be developed and streamed and movied or whatever.
That would be fun to watch. And by the way, I will say this, talking about old comics, not quite as old as that. I got my omnibus edition of Micronauts, which came out in when did Micronauts publish? It had to been 1980, 1981. Micronauts was hold on, let's see if I can find what year. Kind of a cosmic sort of toy thing that
I remember the name, but I don't remember reading it.
Science fiction toy line manufactured and marketed by Mega from 1976 to 1980. So anyway, it kind of jumped in on a little bit of the Star Wars craze there, and there was a Marvel comic series tied into it, like everything.
So was it a toy first and a comic later?
It was toy first and a comic later, but I loved Micronauts, and had some of the action figures and sets. Very, very different than anything else going on at the time. And then had a few of the comic books, and so Marvel has done omnibus releases. Okay. And so I got the first one. I think it has disappeared and will show up for my birthday celebration in a few weeks. So I think that's probably what's going to happen. But anyway, fun. That's a non-regrettable. That's something that would be ripe for rebooting.
Ripe for rebooting. Okay, that's a good phrase.
Ripe for rebooting. So excellent.
RFR.
So all right, we're going to take a short break. Then we're going to talk summer plans up next. The cicadas are here, the pollen's here, and the heat's on its way. That means it's summertime in the South. We really don't have cicadas every year, do we? I mean,
no, definitely not.
There's a general buzzy noise out there in the wilderness.
Yeah, I was at a friend's house last night, and they live much farther out near a lake, and I walked outside to leave to go home, and there was lots of different noises out there than there are at my house.
Sasquatch was out there coming to get you.
It could be. It was or a duck. There was a duck and a frog involved for sure, but I don't know.
A duck, a frog, and a cicada walk into a bar.
Was it the Muppets or was it Disney? I'm not sure.
But yeah, summer plans.
Yeah, so this is kind of an annual episode for you and me, at least, to talk about what we're going to do over the summer, and we tend to focus on cooking, but that didn't have to be it. So what are you looking forward to this summer 2024? I meant to look up like what's coming in the theater, what movies are coming out. Are you traveling a lot? What's the
is this a question for me?
This is the question for Robbie.
So I don't really know, to be honest with you, just to be totally honest. There's not a lot of movies coming out that I'm really interested in. I'm not going to go see the Alien movie in the theater. If I do anything, that'll be a rental. Inside Out doesn't look that good to me. I have not seen the prequel to Furioso, which was the Mad Max sequel. So I don't know that I'm going to see Furioso, even though I should watch Furioso. I should see whatever, the George Miller movie that started. So, but one of the things I'm kind of looking at that might be fun is we're thinking about going to Coffee Fest in New Orleans in mid-June.
Okay.
Which could be kind of cool as we look to refine and expand. I will say Deadpool 3, which is now Deadpool and Wolverine in July, is top of my movie list by far, because I've decided I'm a big Ryan Reynolds fan, as I've gotten hooked on Welcome to Wrexham on FX.
I've been watching that too.
Yeah. Have you enjoyed that?
Yes, very much so.
Are you caught up? Did you watch last night's episode?
No. I'm still like half through season 1, so I'm way behind.
The episode. So I will tell you, they've got this thing that they try to humiliate each other on each other's birthday.
Okay.
And so last night's episode was about what Rob Ryan did to Ryan McElhaney. So it's pretty funny.
The last one I watched, you might remember season 1, was the when they kind of did a Sports Center deal.
Yeah,
and they
welcome the wide world of Wrexham.
Yeah, it was, and they did like the food show and all the things, and I like that. Going on a little tangent, the economic impact of that TV show on that small town in Wales has been incredible. Yeah, I'm sure it has.
Just absolutely incredible. So, Twisters is coming out. So that's
I'm
kind of a spiritual sequel to Twister. Of course, I don't know that there's nobody from the original going to be in it, but
really nobody, no connection.
No, of course, Bill Paxton's passed away, and I don't know about Helen Hunt. But I may have to go see that in the movie theaters. But anyway, that's probably it.
I keep saying I'm going to the theater, and I never go to the theater.
You never go to the theater because nobody ever invites you? No, because I've invited you to the theater, and you won't come.
You have? Well, for one movie, yes, you did.
What was that?
Dune.
Yeah, but did you come?
I didn't. No.
So suck it up, Buttercup.
Yeah. I need to work out. That's one thing that I think I would enjoy doing. Our local theater here has the Tuesday night. You can a little bit of a discount, and I think I might try to start going on Tuesday nights. In the summer, just kind of make that a semi-regular thing.
It's a lot cheaper, a lot more affordable, shall we say?
Because there's a lot. I mean, I'm looking at a movie list. There's no dates on here, so some of these may be out of the summer. But speaking of Ryan Reynolds, I would like to see If. And whether or not this is in a theater or not, just I would like to see If, because Kaczynski's movie.
But early reviews are it's a mess.
Really?
Yeah, it kind of stinks.
I would still go. I would still watch it. And of course, King of the Planet of the Apes just released.
I'm hoping to watch that next week while we're on vacation.
Yeah, I would like to see that. Like you said, Deadpool, Wolverine for sure. Joker 2's coming. Definitely want to see that. I'm not seeing much else here. The Garfield movie, aside from Chris Pratt being the voice, that doesn't really appeal to me very much. I can't. My glasses are not living up to.
Yeah,
and the Zendaya movie, Challengers, about something about tennis. It's kind of a departure for her after all the Spider-Man and Dune. She's playing something else. So. Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. That's another one we've already talked about.
Yeah,
so
kids want to see that one too. So
but I think there's enough that I would be interested enough to pay the $5 or $6 or whatever. Just to do something different.
What about any trips for you guys?
Our trips are like this weekend. Our daughter is coming to us. She's coming up to Mississippi and with her husband to get her brother-in-law married, and so we'll see them actually tomorrow. And then Jacob and Lindsay, my son and daughter-in-law, are coming up in July, so we'll see them for a few days. So we don't have any big trips planned. There's a couple of family reunions that are one's for sure, one's possible. But we don't do generally like big summer vacations, and especially with our, we don't, like a lot of people that I work with, they're all going to the beach this summer at some point. That's going to be on their agenda. And though I would enjoy doing that from time to time, that's just never really been our thing.
Beach.
we like the beach, but Melissa grew up on the beach, so it's not a big deal to her.
Sure.
So, and I would rather go like to Dolphin Island and there be a beach to go to, but there be, other stuff just to kind of hang out and, enjoy being on the Gulf, on the water without necessarily getting all sandy all day long. So that's has not been our thing lately, but we'll try to, because our kids are so spread apart. We've got a potential trip coming in October, up to North Carolina. We'll probably do something later this summer, but no really big trips. No, not our jam.
I think I want to build an outdoor deck and make an outdoor kitchen this summer.
Okay.
Yeah, I think. I've been looking at it. I've got an idea how we would build it.
At your house or at your
at the house.
Okay.
The biggest obstacle would be getting a drain for an outdoor sink. And I've got some ideas. I've got some temporary ideas that would be fine, but permanent ideas would involve trenching.
Okay. Yeah, that's way out of my league.
Yeah.
But you're pretty good. You're pretty handy with the construction stuff. I'm sure you can figure it out.
I'm trying to figure out which way I'd
And you know a guy that works at a hardware construction kind of a place, so he might get
Wes? Yeah. Wes is more of a manager than a actual get your we need to get Wes in. We need to get for grilling technology, anything out there.
Well, that's one of the things I was going to tell about. Yeah. Wes got me an Egg Genius for my Big Green Egg.
What's that?
It's a little device that connects to your phone, Wi-Fi, and all that, and it basically has it's essentially a little fan. You put it in the little the vent at the bottom.
Yeah.
Plug it in, and you program it to whatever temp you want it to be, and it keeps it at temp. I've only tested it once, but the one time that I used it, it worked perfectly. Kept it exactly the temp I wanted, as long as I wanted it. The meat came out fine. I could have cooked it longer, but
so this is actually a Big Green Egg product as opposed to an aftermarket product.
I can't remember the name of the company. Another company developed it, and then Big Green Egg kind of adopted it and adapted it. But it's got another company under the base of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a Big Green Egg product, and it's kind of pricey. But for me, one of the things that has held me up in using my egg as much as I would like to is just having to be there and watch it, because I'm not that great at the haven't figured out all the bells and whistles as far as keeping it maintained with temperature. I'll leave for a couple hours, come back, and it's either cold or too hot. But this thing keeps it right where you want it, and it connects to Wi-Fi, so you don't like for instance, like the meter. And
it's all Bluetooth.
Yeah. Well, this is Wi-Fi, so you can actually watch it from other places. So
from afar.
You
can watch your fire
there.
from afar.
Right. So, the first thing I did was a Boston butt. What I'd like to do now that I've had one measure of success, is to do a brisket. And I want to be able to put it on before I go to bed.
Yeah.
Plug this thing in, and then not have to worry about it till I get up. And then when I get up, I can do the crutch or whatever needs to happen, and actually eat the meat, on the day I take it off, instead of taking it off at midnight and then having to reheat it the next day. I want to be able to take it off, rest it, and eat that night, or that even for lunch maybe, or afternoon. So I think this will be a summer of experimenting with the Genius. And while I'm at it, our back porch, you're talking about building a kitchen, our back porch is severely underused.
Yeah.
We got decent furniture, and the fairy lights and everything. It could be very nice, but I just don't go back there. So I would love to get that in shape.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be building any kitchens or anything, but to get it to a place where I could actually spend some time. Mississippi summers are difficult to spend time outside like that, but I think early morning, late evening would be the time I would want to be out there anyway. So if I can figure out a way to keep out of the mosquitoes.
Yeah. And what I'm looking to do is actually, our house is a slab foundation. So I'm going to build a deck that you have to basically step up like 6 to 8 inches on and put everything there. And I think that would improve things decently.
Yeah.
So, but
that'd be fun.
Probably put a pergola up. haven't figured out how I'm going to do that.
Yeah, I've thought about that too, or something. I kind of want to just extend our back porch just to have a little bit more undercover area.
Yeah.
So I don't know, pergola fits that definition or not, but something along those lines.
Well, I think I would probably do something like, yeah, I'll figure something out, but it could be a lot of fun. So, yeah.
And I want to kind of get back on my creative side too. I have been woefully, a few years ago I retired from my newspaper column, and then at the beginning of this year my magazine column disappeared because the magazine, the print version of the magazine disappeared. So
did it?
Yeah, so my outlets have diminished, and I want to figure out a way to kind of get my blog revived and do some more writing. I got a bunch of ideas. I just need to sit down and do it, like so many other things in my life.
Yeah.
But I would like to write more this summer. So ideally, I'm outside early morning, laptop on the porch with the brisket going and writing about, whatever it is on my mind that day.
That's everybody's dream,
it's
right?
It's all connected.
Yeah, it's all connected.
Everything everywhere all at once.
Oh, how fun. So, all right. Anything else you want to add about your summer? I mean, we're almost at time here.
Yeah, I just hope that we survive it. Because, it is also, we don't get into this and we won't get in the weeds, but all these things that I mentioned hopefully will distract me from the election. Because
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I sort of dread these summer months when it comes to that. So if I can keep myself busy,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, well,
so we're going to keep it.
You're in a good place.
That's it.
You're in a good place.
All right, so we need to see if we can get Wes on here to talk about barbecue technology. You talked upon that. That would be a great thing.
Yeah.
And, we need to see if he's available at some point. So, and I've got a couple other interviews I'm working on that would be a lot of fun. So,
summer, maybe this will be the summer of interviews.
Maybe be the summer of interviews. Maybe. Could be. Possibly. So, all right, that does it for us this time around. We'll see you next week.